Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Give honors to your apostles and elders that rule well. Salutations to all you brothers out there that's pushing this truth and sincerity. All right, we're going to get into a quick lesson on what is the wheat and what is the tares. Okay? Go ahead, brother.
This is Daniel chapter 9, verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off.
Right. And seeing the reason why I went into talking about the confusion of faces is talking about because you got some Israelites, you know what I'm saying, they're all over the world. And basically it's going to go into it. Go ahead.
Through all the countries, whether thou hast driven them.
See, all the countries, whether all the Israelites have been driven, which is in the four corners of the earth, in every country damn near. Go ahead.
Because of their trespass.
Because of their trespass.
That they have trespassed against thee.
And what's that trespass? Breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. And falling behind heathens and taking on their customs. Becoming Hellenists. Or becoming like the other heathens, basically. You know? Go ahead.
O Lord, to us belongeth the confusion of faces.
To us belong confusion of faces. Go ahead.
To our kings.
To our king.
To our princes.
To our princes.
To our fathers.
To our fathers.
Because we have sinned against thee.
Right, So basically our people, you know, the reason why I said confusion of faces is because you got Israelites out here that look like all the different nations. You know, you got Israelites that look like they so-called Chinese. Israelites that look like Japanese, so-called white people, so-called what else? Just say Asian, or so-called Arabic, and etc. Basically, you know, we look like every nation on the planet Earth because the Most High, He scattered us in all four corners of the earth, and we're gonna get into that. Go ahead.
Like the Assyrian captivity.
Yep.
The Assyrian captivity was consistent mostly of the northern tribe. And when the northern tribe was released, they decided that they want to go to a land to practice the laws wholeheartedly, which is where you get, you know, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, okay? Then you got the southern tribes, which was prophesied in Deuteronomy, okay, chapter 28, that we will be coming here on ships.
That's right.
If we didn't keep the law. See, the first verse said, if we kept the law, then all of these things would be given unto us. Then going down to the 15th verse, it said, but if we rebel against it, these things are to happen to us. All these curses are going to fall upon us. So these is part of the curses, and that's what Daniel was going into. You know what I'm saying? Because it also says in Hosea that Ephraim is a silly dove. Oh, I'm going to pull it up. You're going to hear it.
No, don't finish that though first, real quick. We use that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, finish that up.
It says, this is Daniel 9:9. It says, to the Lord our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
And that's the reason for the confusion of faces, being scattered into the four corners of earth, being banished, you know what I'm saying, from the land of Israel. And that's what happened to our people, man. We were banished, you know what I'm saying, from our own land. You know what I'm saying, because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, so the Lord made us lost. You know, we went into captivity. You know, and the so-called white man, you know, brought us on slave cargo ships and to the Americas, and the north, that's the Southern Kingdom. Talking about so-called Negroes, West Indies, and so-called Haitians. You know, and then you had the Northern Kingdom. They went into captivity, also on slave cargo ships, being sold into slavery in other parts of the earth. You know, so we all, you know, same thing happened to all of us, basically. But, go ahead, brother.
This is Hosea 7:8. This is going for the northern kingdom, but this ultimately happened to all the kingdoms. Okay, the children of Israel. Ephraim He hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned, which is where you get the lighter complexion of us, those of us who may look as though we are Edomites and are not, but our lineage dates back to us being Israelites.
Well, basically, I ain't saying they necessarily like Edomites. It's just basically they're a lighter brown. That's a lighter derivative of brown. That's the Ephraimites. And when it's talking about Ephraim being a cake not being turned, it's talking about basically all the northern kingdom of Israel. Which would be the so-called Latinos and so-called Native American Indians. They like a cake not turned because there'll be a different derivative, a lighter brown. But some of them were dark brown. Okay. All right, get Matthew's 13, start at verse 24. Go right into the point.
This is Matthew chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat.
Right, concept. Basically, that field is talking about when he sowed the good seed, was talking about Israel, and it's talking about the Israelites, all 12 tribes, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. Okay, go ahead and read again at the top of 25.
It says Matthew 13 and 25. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way.
Basically, that's talking about the so-called white man who was known as Esau Edom. What he did was he came and sowed his seed, which was talking about his sperm. He came in and he raped our women, slept with our women, and he mingled his seed in with us. Go ahead.
It says, but when the blade, this is Matthew 13, 26. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also.
Right. You got what you call, tares. Those are like mixed breed. That's what they'll call it, mixed breed. But it's not a mixed breed. It's basically, the so-called white man's seed. It's mingled amongst the children of Israel. Okay. That tare is talking about some of them gonna look like Israelites still, and some of them gonna look like so-called white people. Okay.
Yeah, and it's looking like Israelites, man.
Right, but go ahead. It's gonna go into it more. Go ahead.
To that forefront.
Go ahead.
This is Matthew 13 and 27. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sire, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field?
Sir. He said, sir.
From whence then hath it tares?
Yep, go ahead. And those good seeds again, those are the Israelites. Okay, go ahead.
He said unto them, an enemy hath done this.
The enemy, who is the so-called white man, he is an enemy. Go ahead. And the reason why he did this, see, this go back, even all the way back, to Esau and Jacob. Esau selling his birthright, man. And now he's trying to get it back any way he possibly can. And it goes back to Cain, him losing his pigmentation. Trying to get his pigmentation back. But that's not going to happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Edom laid with the women of the Canaanites. Trying to get his pigmentation back. This is Matthew 13, 28. He said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? Prime example of that prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It said, and thy enemies shall sell thee as bondmen and bondwomen. So, our enemies can only be one person, man. One group of people that's on the face of this earth, okay? Because the scriptures already told us who they were.
And basically, all the nations are our enemies, man. If you're not an Israelite, All the nations in the world are, set toward against Israel. And it's only because of our power, who is Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. Because our power has always fought for us, and won many battles, for us. And that's why, they are enemies. Go ahead.
Come.
Go ahead, read.
Matthew 13:29.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Right, exactly. So, because you're going to have what you call confusion of faces. You know what I'm saying? Close that up. I'll push out.
Gotcha.
Go on. He said, read that again. He said, nay.
Matthew 13:24. But nay. 29, I mean, slightly. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Fine, because, like I said, going back to the confusion of faces. Because you're going to have some Israelites, they're going to be looking like they tares. Some of them going to be looking like they Chinese or Asian, so-called Asian. Some of them going to be looking like Ishmaelites. Some of them going to be looking like Elamites, all the different nations in a planet, man. But they're going to be Israelites. And then on the flip side of that, you're going to have some Israelites that look like they Israelites. It's like you're going to have some tares that look like Israelites. Like they're going to be looking like Wesley Snipes. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like dark-skinned or different derivatives of brown. But in actuality, they heathens. Those are the tares, man. That's the confusion of faces. Go ahead, read.
It says Matthew 13:30. Let both grow together, see, until the harvest.
Until the harvest. And that harvest is talking about, in the day of the Lord. When the Lord comes and save, the 1/3 of Israel. Okay? Because 2/3 of our people, too, they're going to be like tares, though. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual tares, because they're gonna stay into the customs of the heathens instead of coming back to their own customs. Go ahead, read.
And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares. Go ahead. And bind them in bundles.
Right, and bind them in bundles to what?
To burn them.
To burn them, and that's talking about the heathens, and 2/3 of our nation.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead, read.
But gather the wheat into my barn.
And the wheat into the barn is talking about the 1/3 of Israel, the elect. Those are going to be the ones that are going to be gathered up into the barns, even the ones that are confusion of faces. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them are of the elect, even though they might look like different nations.
And going into it, he said 2/3 also, because what are the 2/3 considered in the eyes of the Most High? Gentiles. Okay, so they're not circumcised. They're the uncircumcised.
Right, even in the spirit. Right, And with that, we're going to give all praises and glory and honor to our power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And we're going to give double honors to all the brothers out there that's pushing the truth and sincerity. And to you brothers out there of the confusion of faces. And to you Aqua with you sisters. Shalom.
Shalom.